Okay, here's page 3 of project 2. We have to find two types of items. One, there are a few areas where we're asked to solve for amount, and then there are a few areas where we're asked to solve for interest. Let's start by taking a look at amount. So if you look at H. Hallett on line 3, the amount is missing. However, you're given principal and you're given interest. So if I know the amount of money that started in my account and I know the amount of interest it accrued, then I can figure out what my amount is. Remember, principal plus interest is equal to amount. And you can rearrange that equation to solve for principal or interest, right? So again, principal plus interest equals amount. So if I know what I started with, I know the amount of money that was accrued, I can find my amount. So that's how we'll solve for this one. Now take a look at this box where we're asked to solve for interest. So we're going to have to approach it a little differently. However, notice that once again they've given us the principal, $568.65, and they've given us the amount, $634.77. So I can actually use this equation again because once again I've been given 2 out of 3 pieces of information. So I know how much my account started with, I know how much my account ended with, right? I know the principal, I know the amount. I just have to figure out what the difference is. How much did my account grow by? So I'll use this same equation, principal plus interest equals amount, plug in what I know, and then use it to solve for interest. Now what about this next one? And lines 8 and 10 will be done the same way. So let's just look at line 8. Notice that both amount and interest are missing, so I can no longer use this simple equation to solve for me. However, I can use my compound interest formula. So A equals P times 1 plus or minus R over N to the NT. So remember what all of this means. A is amount. It's the final amount after your account has accrued interest. P is principal. That's what your account started at. That's the initial amount that you invested or put into an account. R is rate. N is the periods per year. It's the same N that we see here. Once again, periods per year. And T is time. Okay, time in years. So I can solve for amount in this box by using this equation, and I'll help you set this one up. So if I want to know amount, I first need principal. So let's find principal. For K Conticos, principal is $40,000. So I say A equals 40,000 times, next comes 1 plus rate, R. So I see that the rate is 5.85%, but I need to write it as a decimal, which is 0.0585. Now, that's just my numerator. That's just my numerator. So I'm going to divide that by N. Remember, N is the periods per year. So they've already been nice enough to tell me the periods per year. I don't even have to calculate it. So I see that that's 4. So I'm going to divide that by 4. Now I multiply that by N as an exponent. So once again, N. And finally, T is time in years, and that's also given to us. It's 5. So I'm going to take 4 and multiply it by 5. So you can see that it was pretty easy to set up this equation. All of the information is represented in the table. So I will solve this equation, and it will tell me what A, my amount, is. Once I have that amount, once I take this number, I'll plug it in here, and I'll have my amount. Then I can go back to this first equation we used, because I will know my principal and my amount at that point. So I'll be able to use those 2 pieces of information to solve for interest. So once again, to solve for amount, I use my compound interest formula, which uses amount, initial principal, rate as a decimal, periods per year again, and time in years. I use that to solve for A, and that gives me my amount that goes here. Then I use my other equation, principal plus interest equals amount, to solve for interest because I have 2 pieces of information, and that'll give me interest. So that was our method for line 8. And you can use the same method for line 10 for E and P.